Trey Lance, when we talk about trade value, what the Niners traded to get him last year, and where would he be going this year? Where would Trey Lance be going in this year's NFL draft?
I texted an NFL executive who they would draft a quarterback. They're drafting really high, and if they could, they would draft a quarterback. But obviously, it's just none of these guys that they don't value any of these guys close to being a top 10 player. And my question was, where would Trey Lance go in this draft, assuming he had just a season like he had his freshman year, a good season? He said easily number 1. He went 3 in a loaded draft off one game where he played like shit. I think he would be a no-brainer top pick in this crew. He said, I thought Fields, I'll be honest, I thought Fields was a little more physically or talented. I get Lance had elite makeup. I think that separated them for the 49ers. Or at least it did for, I understand why it did for some teams. I get why they took him. So, I think it's fair to say that Trey Lance, elite character, elite physical skills, in this draft, someone said this, I didn't look it up, but Kenny Pickett 2 years ago threw 13 touchdowns. Like this year he threw 40 or whatever, but he exploded this year, But he's not, but physically gifted, he's much closer to like a Cousins and a Mac Jones.
Zach Wilson exploded, but he had some physical traits that got people's eyes.
100%. And I think it's fair to say that, that one's up for debate, I think, with a lot of people, how good that guy can be. And time will tell.
Yeah.
Like,
and he was
Kenny Pickett guy, 19, 13 and 9, 20, 13 and 9. Then this season, and listen, you're either getting better or getting worse, 42 and 7. So he's kind of a 1-year wonder. Now Trey Lance is a 1-year wonder at 19 years old. And then you physically and the makeup, I don't even think it's a debate. This draft isn't that good. Like DJ tweeted this a couple weeks ago, that how many guys from last year's draft would go before the first guy in this year's draft? And I responded to the tweet. I said, imagine if it was like the NBA in 2000 or in the 70s, when you could draft like Larry Bird a year to remove. How many guys in the 2023 class would be picked before this? And you would know, like C.J. Stroud. I don't know. Will Anderson would be a lock number 1 in this draft. I even think Bryce Young, I know he's small, but he is dramatically better than these quarterbacks. Like I watched Bryce Young play. I mean, he's got some physical limitations in terms he's small, but goddamn, the guy can sling it. How about some of those throws he was making against? You see the thing that went viral about Nick Saban, who was like crushing his wide receivers for not practicing hard. The moment Mechie and Jamison Williams went down, he's like, our backups just. They got in this mindset of they were never playing. They were always pissed off, and they were always mad. And then their time came, and they were ready to make plays, and Bryce hit them in their hands, and they're dropping balls. Like it's on you guys.
Here's the other thing with Trey Lance. So there's 2 parts to it. One, what you said, this year's draft class. Here's the second part. What the hell would have happened this last year for Trey Lance? You want to know what North Dakota State did last year? 2020?
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they won the national championship. They went 14-1 and won the national title with really a non-explosive pass game. They had the number 1 defense in FCS football, 11 points per game. They went 14-1. They went 7-1 in their league, and they won the national championship for the second time in 3 years, or in 3 seasons.
He won the national championship, right?
Well, they went 16-0 in whatever that last year was, but he wasn't the quarterback of that team, was he? Oh yeah, he was.
Well, in
19,
it would have been 19, yeah.
Yeah,
he won the Natty.
Was he the starting quarterback on that team?
Yeah, it was his only year he's ever played.
Well, 2020, yeah. So he would have won the national championship again this last year. So he went number 1 coming off old numbers, right?
Now, in fairness, one thing I would say is more than likely, like the year that they went 16-0, his redshirt freshman year, he did not throw an interception, 28 touchdowns, no picks, and 14 rushing touchdowns, 1,000 yards. Like, it was a perfect season for a young guy. He might have had a little adversity even on a national championship team, which teams would have liked to see. Like, how does he respond from a pick? And we saw it this year. Fine.
Yeah. Maybe he would have. I mean, maybe they just would have thrown the ball less. Maybe he would have run the ball more. I don't know. I just know we'd be talking about a guy right now that I mean, what would his career record be in college? It'd be
well you said
absurd.
They had 2 quarterbacks this year. He's going to fucking be a
Split
starting
reps.
quarterback in the NFL. How would they not have been way better on offense with him? Right?
Well, exactly.
I would guarantee their coach would be like, yeah, we'd rather have Trey Lance than these 2 guys.
Yeah. So he'd be his stock, his class would be worse, and his stock would be higher.
I think he'd be so good where he'd be like, yeah, I'm not doing anything at the combine. I'm just interviewing. He'd be that good. Like he'd be just in a class by himself.
Well, and
his
he'd
class
be,
isn't very good.
and you wouldn't be able to get up to number 1 to get him, right?
They'd have no chance.
Well, who's drafting first?
Lions? Jags?
Jags are. So the Jags maybe would trade the pick.
Yeah, but they're drafting. Niners are 29th.
No, I'm not saying to the Niners. I'm just saying they might trade it to somebody.
Oh, yeah,
like my point is he'd be going number 1, and somebody might still be trading 2-1s, like 3-1. Like you might again this year get someone to trade 3-1s for Trey Lance to draft.
Trey Lance is
1.
never on the Niners if he
like what would the Lions trade to get him to move up 1 spot? You know?
I mean, 2-1. Their other first round pick, and a lot.
Cody says Trey Lance is younger than every other QB coming out in this draft,
which makes sense. Corral, 5th-year senior. Pickett, 5th-year senior. Do you know Malik Willis started at Auburn behind Jarrett Stidham, transferred to Liberty? So I actually is a positive for me. He wasn't just a small school guy. He was a SEC guy, transferred. But he's older.
Eric Crocker, a.k.a. Crocky, on the stream says, any chance he would have entered the transfer portal and played at a Power 5 this past season? I mean, you have to say yes, there's a chance. I bet he would have stayed.
Do you notice you follow him on Instagram? He Instagrams or like retweets, whatever it's the restories, a lot of his North Dakota State guys. I think he takes a lot of pride in that. Part of it is I think these guys in North Dakota State go, well, fuck, we're better than half the Power 5 teams. They believe that there.
Well, and think about it, John. Carson Wentz was a top pick out of North Dakota State. Trey would have known. He would have been projected as the number 1 pick this year. There's some guys where I get why you transfer, right, to get more attention, whatever. He would have gotten reviews that tell him, hey, man, you're going to be the number 1 pick potentially in next year's draft. We would know that already, right? Like Schefter would have tweeted that after last year's draft. Trey Lance is expected to be the number 1 pick in 2022 because he was the 3rd pick last year.
I know, but a lot of teams. What if like Georgia called him or something?
Yeah, but again, he'd be like, okay, why am my stock is as high as it could possibly get. I'm going to be the number 1 pick in next year's draft. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to do anything. This is the only program that believes
he would have had to tell people no.
He would have no. There is a chance, to Crocky's point. I'm just saying the argument would have been, unless it was like, you know what, I need some NIL money. Okay, like maybe would have done that, but he could have done that anyway. But he could have done that, right? Like Georgia, there's a booster at Georgia saying we got $1 million waiting for you. Beats by Dre is going to pay you $2 million to come play quarterback at USC, right?
Oklahoma had a quarterback. I mean, hell, it could have just been random Power 5 teams, right?
It could have been Georgia. I mean,
yeah. Wisconsin. I mean, the Big Ten teams would have sniffed around.
Yeah, sure. Miami. I mean, so, but the point is like, this is the only place that thought he was a quarterback. He was going to be the number 1 pick anyway. My guess is he would have stayed, but he might have left. But either way, here's the other thing: if he leaves, So I stay here at North Dakota State, where I've won a national championship, where I probably could win another national championship, where I know the system, I love the coaches. The NFL people tell me that these guys are getting me ready for the league. Why go somewhere else and potentially hurt my draft stock?
Yeah, it would have been risky to go to Georgia because if he struggled there, that would have been a problem.
Unless he had this dream of winning an FCS national title and an FBS national title.
Pretty legendary.
Pretty
yeah. Been pretty sweet.
Or like what award was it? The Jerry Rice Freshman of the Year award at the FCS level, and then the Barry Sanders is the national. No, Barry's Oklahoma. What's the National Player of the Year award in the FCS level? Jerry Rice is the Freshman of the Year award, right? At the FCS level.
Doak Walker.
No, it's not the Doak Walker. But anyway, win a Heisman. He'd be a Heisman candidate if he'd.
He couldn't win the Heisman at North Dakota State, right?
No. They have a different whatever theirs is. I can't remember. But Walter Payton, is it the Walter?
Yeah,
Payton?
I think it is the Walter Payton.
Walter Payton. Yeah. So I think he would have stayed, and I'm with that's when you look at it that way. I think you and I a long time ago decided they didn't overpay for the opportunity to get him. Now, you overpaid if you drafted Mac Jones there, or the overpay might have been, well, in an alternate universe where we know where he would have been drafted, like if we could give truth serum to all the GMs that drafted between where the Niners ended up drafting and where they were, would somebody else have come
I'm
up
not
to
going
get
to
Trey
give them
Lance?
as much credit on knowing that what would have transpired the following year, but I give them credit on knowing the crop of guys. They knew it was a really good quarterback class. Let's go buy one right now.
Yeah.
Which is essentially what they did. I can't be like, well, this guy's going to be the number 1 overall pick. Like, I don't even know if you're thinking like that, because why do you even give it? You're a year away. You're trying to win now. They were trying to win now.
I think the only reason you care about that is right now, if they were in the position they were in, what would they do at quarterback? They'd extend Jimmy. I don't know. How would you find another quarterback right now if you were the 49ers coming off the year they just had?
Well, you wouldn't. You would just bring Jimmy back. I don't think you might not extend him. You might just play it out and you maybe sign Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, I mean, there's what is your path to finding another quarterback when you're good? It's hard.
There isn't one.
They don't hit free agency. They don't get traded really that much.
Well, unless Matt Stafford, Deshaun Watson, they would have been in on that, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's as the internet analytics people like to say, a suboptimal situation. So Walter Payton has the FCS award named for him, and also the sportsmanship of the Walter Payton Award in the NFL. I think might be one of the coolest trophies that exists, because that's the one with the cape, right? The Walter Payton NFL trophy, the man of the year award.
Whitworth just won.
Yeah, with the gold, you get the gold fucking patch on your.
It's pretty sweet.
Bronze patch on your, but yeah, Walter Payton Award is the FCS Offensive Player of the Year. And did Trey win that as a freshman? He did. He won it as a freshman. So he didn't win the Jerry Rice. He won the.
Do you have the list of the Walter Payton Award winners in front of you?
Yeah.
Name off a couple.
Him, Delvin Hodges, Samford. Who did he play? Who was he in the league with?
Linebacker, I think.
No, it was the quarterback. It was like on the.
Oh, Duck Hodges. It's Pittsburgh Steelers.
Duck Hodges. Yeah. Cooper Kupp. Jimmy Garoppolo. You might be familiar with his work. Taylor Heineke. There was a stretch of Heineke in 12, Jimmy in 13. Villanova's quarterback, John Robertson, won it in 14.
Probably slinging money in Wall Street right now.
Works for Morgan Stanley.
Yeah, BlackRock. BlackRock.
And Cooper Kupp in 15.
So it's a pretty fucking good list of players.
Tony Romo and Brian Westbrook won it back-to-back years.
Would you say if you win this? Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of good NFL players have won this award.
Steve McNair won it in 94. You know who won it the year before McNair? You know it. College coach now. Actually, he's in the NFL now. He's in the NFC East.
Sirianni.
Quarterback.
I don't know.
Doug Nussmeier.
Wow.
He's on the Cowboys staff, right?
Idaho, yeah.
Dave Meggett, fucking returner, running back, won it in 88. Yeah. Better than Heisman's.
I'd say it's a pretty good stretch this decade, right? Lance, Cooper Kupp, Jimmy G, Heineke.
Again, Delvin Hodges plays in the NFL at quarterback from Samford.
Started games for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You can say guys got hurt or whatever. Starting game for the Pittsburgh Steelers for the rest of his life. Oh, that's Duck Hodges. Remember when he started for the Pittsburgh fucking Steelers?
Well, how many FCS quarterbacks have just started NFL games, period?